Hi, this is Mariah Gullo from The Hollywood Reporter, and I'm here with Hannah Hart.
Hello.
Hannah, thank you for going one-on-one with us. Let's have a conversation.
That sounds natural and fun.
I want to talk about I Heart Food, which is your new show. It's out on August 14th, which is today.
What a day!
On the Food Network.
Day of days! I know, I'm so excited. Yes, I Heart Food is the name. Pun very much intended. And it comes out tonight, 10 p.m., 10/9 Central on the Food Network.
So tell us a little bit about this show. We know you, of course, from your YouTube fame and My Drunk Kitchen and all of the fun things you've been doing for the past few years, which I want to talk to you about because I have some questions. But you're like, okay. But I just want to know a little bit about I Heart Food and how it's different because it's a different kind of show.
Yeah, it is. So basically the premise behind I Heart Food is rooted in travel and also in food. For me personally, when I travel, I kind of base my entire day based off where I'm going to eat. You know, it's like every time I go travel somewhere, I really get to know the place through my mouth, as I like to think of it. So I Heart Food kind of explores the local resource or ingredient. For instance, in Portland, Maine, they have a lot of lobster, and you can't walk 5 feet without bumping into some cartoony lobster-looking thing. And so it's kind of, you know, I always wonder, how can you have like 40 or 50 thriving restaurants all boasting a signature dish that's kind of the same thing? It's all lobster. So I Heart Food explores how the lobster is prepared in a bunch of different ways and done in different styles, and the relationship the chefs in the area have to the food. Like in Santa Fe, it's about the red and green chili pepper, but you just have to wait and see. My lips, I'll see it.
That's very comprehensive.
Thank you. I made the show.
I like that a lot. So how does it feel to kind of go out into the field instead of being just in your kitchen when you're cooking?
Yeah, I mean, it feels amazing. You know, people have been asking me what's the difference between making that transition from YouTube to television, and it doesn't feel like leaving one thing and starting another. It feels more like a natural evolution. It's like everything's just growing. It's just growing. You know, like you plant a seed turns into a seedling turns into whatever comes after a seedling, and then you have a tree. Is how nature works. But yeah, so it doesn't really feel like, oh, well, now I'm a television star, so there's not much else to say, you know? It feels natural.
Did you always want to kind of travel, kind of do like I would guess I would call it a food adventure.
Ooh, I like that.
Is that something you did in the past, or is it something you're kind of exploring now?
Well,
that you have the opportunity.
Yeah, I have to say this is the only time I've ever pitched a TV show. So I Heart Food, you know, we came up with the concept. We worked with a production company called Warrior Poets, went in, pitched to Food Network, and then bada bing, bada boom. 6 episodes later, here we are biting our nails, hoping that people watch the show tonight, 10/9 Central on Food Network. But yeah, I actually have some experience traveling across America. I started a tour back in 2013 called Hello Harto, which was 22 cities across America, stopping and exploring each city and doing like a My Drunk Kitchen and volunteering.
Oh, cool.
Everywhere we went. Yeah, so I got to see America through a kind of a different lens than I ever had before. Living in the Bay Area and then living in New York and living in LA. There was so much of America I hadn't seen. And I want to take I Heart Food and use it to kind of highlight all these different aspects of our country and bring it together.
What are some places that are kind of like bucket list places that you'd like to go?
Ooh, I've never been to Nashville. I've never been to Nashville. I kind of want to go to Nashville. Oh, wait, you have? Well, then your bucket is
Never
full.
mind. I've never been to Austin. That's the place I haven't
Gasp!
been. Yeah.
Austin's great.
Yeah.
Get some
and so is
tacos.
Nashville.
I can't wait to find out. Maybe
24-hour adult bookstore. They have a lot of those there.
What? I Heart Food?
And they have food.
And they have food? Okay, great. So we'll see what happens in Nashville. Nobody knows this, but it's like, what's the Vegas thing? What happens in Nashville stays in Nashville.
Oh, yes. What happens in Nashville stays in Nashville, yes.
I
I think that's true for everywhere, really.
Yeah. You try and just leave the past behind, you know?
You're that kind of person.
That was then. This is now.
How does it feel to have other people teaching you cooking techniques?
Amazing. Wonderful.
Yeah.
I love to learn, and I love to be taught things. I really like it when people explain things to me. It's kind of funny because when you watch the show, you see a lot of me making this face. which is my listening face. You know,
Yeah.
I'm really listening to everything that everyone's saying. You know, if a chef is showing me, oh, this is how I prepare, you know, this sauce, I'm sitting there and I'm like staring at the sauce, but it kind of looks like this is my personal joke take, but it's like, do I look angry? I'm like, I'm not angry, I'm just focusing. So I have to practice listening with a calm, open face.
Smizing.
Smizing. So I'll be like, wow, that's an amazing thing to do with a plantain. Instead of like, you did that. 'Cause, you know?
Yeah.
It's something I've really got to work on before we get going on season 2.
I wanted to read a quote that you said on My Drunk Kitchen. There was one particular episode where you said, you know, when I first started doing this show, I was doing a parody of the person I'm slowly becoming. Sincerely. Can you explain that quote?
Yeah. I mean, when I first started doing My Drunk Kitchen, if you look at an episode like Brunch or an Easy Bake Oven, or Not Easy Bake Oven, these are the very beginning kind of, or even the very first episode. All in the beginning, I was kind of trying to embody this like cooking show host who knew nothing about cooking, but just was like, oh, I'm going to take this box and empty it. Kind of vibe. And that is who I am today. Like, that is who I am. That is how I am in the kitchen. So my 24-year-old self was actually just trying to channel what my 30-year-old self, who my 30-year-old self actually is.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
What's the best advice you can give to people who want to have a food-related adventure?
Ooh, a food-related adventure. Ask locals. Definitely. I would say if you have one good meal, you can find another by asking the people around you. A lot of times when we were shooting the show, we would talk to the chefs and the other restaurateurs and be like, so where do you think we should be going? And they'll be like, oh, you got to try such and such, or we got to go here. So I think that once you're on the ground, asking people is a really good idea. And if you're staying in a hotel, it's kind of hit or miss. Because if you're staying in a hotel, sometimes the people send you to like the tourist spots because they don't want you to go to the good food. But I'm here to crack that code.
That's good. That's really good advice.
Crack the code. That's my advice.
Crack the code. Get in there. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I find that a lot of times when you're asking people for the authentic place, they send you to a touristy place, and you're like, was that intentional?
Yeah, so that's why you have to ask locals. Something, you know what I mean?
Right. And go and actually go to the places that they recommend.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
Just like go for it.
Yeah. And TripAdvisor. I mean, not sponsored, but like I use it.
That's great. So you do a lot of riffing on your YouTube show. Did you have to pull back on that a little bit for iHeart Food? Like you're coming into different locations. People maybe aren't as familiar with your sense of humor.
You know, I had to actually loosen up because I was nervous. I think it's real amateur hour over here. Yeah. You know, I if anything, I was nervous about not seeming professional. You know, so I was kind of showing up every day like, I understand. Yes, okay, let's get the shot. But fortunately, we had a really amazing crew and a really great director and a showrunner that I really just vibed with, and working together, I felt more and more comfortable, which is great. You know, I really hope we get a shot at making more episodes. I would love nothing more because I feel like when I watch the series, I see so many things I would do differently or like things I want to improve upon. And I just really hope to get that chance.
Nice.
We'll see.
So we had some questions that we asked Gordon Ramsay when he was here, so I figure that we should ask you as well.
Yes.
What dishes and drinks would you make for the following events? Emmy night. If you're just like watching the Emmys.
Emmy night. I would make a drink. I don't know. That's tough. I don't really watch the award shows. I get it. Okay, I have been to award show parties. Done. Okay. Here's my answer. Finger foods, you know, stuff people can put on a plate and toss into their mouth while they eat and talk shit. Should I not say shit? I'll do it. I can give you a different take just in case. Finger foods, you know, like stuff people can eat and toss into their mouths, just while they're making casual observations about the people on the screen.
How about your wedding? What would you make for the wedding?
No spoilers. I totally have a plan. I would love to make my wedding a series of small plates, like dishes that I and my partner love, that we want to share with our like friends and family, you know? And so like we really like a lot of like street food. And so I think it would be amazing to like kind of just have like a street food vendor kind of situation going on at a wedding.
Oh
Yeah. And with a lot of options, you know? So it's hot and it's ready and it's it's made right then and there, and people can kind of add their own variety to it.
Oh, that's a great idea. Cheering up a depressed friend.
Okay, what would I make them to eat? Well, first I'd be like, how you feeling? You hungry? They'd be like, no. I'd be like, okay. I'm just going to get something, so if you end up wanting it, you can have it. So really, it's all in the approach at first, you know?
Sweet.
Right? That's true. So then I would get, well, I don't, it really depends on the friend, but something that's kind of like nice and like comforting, but not too carby. Because if you like, well, you don't want to perpetuate the cycle. So like, I really like wonton soup.
Oh, yeah.
I like hot and sour soup. And I think that stuff like that kind of awakens your senses can really help. If you are depressed and you eat something spicy, I promise you're going to think about spices while you're eating it. You're going to be like, whew. I mean, but whew.
That's great. How about a camping trip?
Oh, chili. Yeah, big time. Yeah. Chili, and then also when you're camping, it's always really fun to kind of like make something that you cook on a fire. Like chili, really. I just like chili a lot.
What's the most shocking thing that's happened to you off camera that you weren't able to get?
Regarding the show?
Yeah,
or just
regarding
in life?
Yes, well.
What's been your worst experience?
How about something that you were trying to film but you didn't get it?
And you'll see this. So in every episode of I Heart Food, the credits that roll are bloopers. And I'm really excited for people to see those because those are always my favorite moments. I'm a big fan of bloops. My Drunk Kitchen is just bloopers, effectively. Yeah. But basically, so as the credits roll, there's always like the little like long-standing funny take. But then I guess we did get that on camera. Long story short, lobsters are odd-looking creatures, and they move around a lot, and they just kind of come for you. You know what I mean? Even when they're dead, I think. So that was there.
What's your favorite music to cook to?
Oh, God. I listen to a lot of jazz. I really like jazz. I like instrumental music. I like piano music. If I'm like getting ready to party on like a Saturday night, I'll put on some jams, like some Selena, some Demi Lovato, some Riri, some Beyonce, just really get the blood pumping, But if I'm just at home cooking, like I was cooking last night, I made pesto and stuff, and I just put on jazz.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to know your top 5 cocktails and your top 5 cheeses.
Oh! Okay, I can answer cheeses way faster than cocktails. I love a smoked Gouda. Oh, it's so great. I love a aged white cheddar. A nice sharp cheddar with an apple is delightful. Yes. I like a Humboldt Fog, which is like a goat cheese with an ashy line through the middle. It's delightful. I don't know if it's goat. It might be sheep, but it's called Humboldt Fog. I'm pretty sure it's goat. That's 3. 4. I had an espresso. I had a dessert cheese the other day, which was like a sharper dry cheese, and it had espresso rind on the outside, and inside salt had like kind of crystallized, but it was like a little sweet. It was fantastic.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was really
good.
I know, it was really good. And then last but not least, I think it's an absolute staple to have a manchego or a Parmesan in your house, but like the whole chunk of it, not like from a bag, but like a chunk of it so you can grate it. Yeah. Nice. So those are my favorite cheeses. Right. Cocktails, I'm boring, I guess. I don't know. I always order vodka soda. I like wine. I like red wine. I like peaty scotches. Like a scotch, but like it has to be really like has to taste like I'm licking a campfire, like just like rah. Gin and tonic. And if I had to pick a 5th, like a spicy tequila drink. Not a margarita though.
Nice. Okay, so something with a little bit of a mixer in it.
Yeah, something with like lime juice, touch of agave, some salt, some jalapeno.
Ooh.
Ooh, a smoked salt. Guys,
I think you
is
just
it
made
5?
one.
Is it 5 o'clock? Are we done?
So you have a very close relationship with your fans, being that, you're up the YouTube generation. What have been some of the reactions that your fans have had? Do they feel like they personally know you much better than they actually do? Or have you ever...
It's a great question. I'm sorry to cut you off. That's a great question. I'm actually polygamously married to lots of my fans from a tour that I ran in 2013. A lot of people have these amazing certificates that say we are married in polygamy. So
nice.
I'm sure that won't come back to haunt me. No, what's great is that the reaction has been just everything I've hoped for. It just really is. I was walking through the airport the other day, and this dude stops me. He's got to be like 35, something like that. And he was like, hey, I'm on my way home, but I just got to say congratulations about Food Network. And I was like, oh, thank you. That's so great. Where are you heading? He's like, I live in Detroit, but congratulations. I'm so excited for you. Can't wait to watch. I've got my DVR set. And I'm like, wow, thank you. Yesterday, I was doing a live stream for my paperback, my paperback edition of Buffering, Untold Tales of a Life Fully Loaded, came out. And I called two people. I hate using the word fans, to be honest. I like saying community. One of them was a teacher, a science teacher on her way home from work, or who was just hanging out. And it was awesome to talk to her. And she's like, I'm so excited about Food Network. The other one was an accountant who was like, I'm so excited about Food Network. So it just is like, I'm excited, and I'm even more excited because everyone's excited. I don't know. It's hard to say. It's everything I could possibly hope for. I just hope that they like it. And I hope it's good. I hope it's good.
It is good.
It's great, frankly. I think it's fantastic.
I have a crossover question for you. If you could do an episode of Drunk History, what would you do?
What would I talk about? What historical event?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great question. Wow. Okay. If I could do an episode of Drunk History, what would I talk about? Oh, okay. I would talk about Thomas Edison and how he, stole a bunch of patents. He patented a bunch of ideas, but they were from people that were
the dark side of Thomas Edison.
Yeah, dude, that's what I would do. The history of the kinetoscope. The kinetoscope is really fascinating. It's the first, motion picture capture thing, and his assistant at the time invented it, but then Thomas Edison stole it from him.
Amazing.
Some crazy stuff, guys. Long story short, get yourself a lawyer. Patent everything.
Very good advice.
Yeah, but could you tell them, though, to have me on the show ever? I would love it.
Yeah, let's Derek Waters.
Yeah.
Come on. I would love to be on the show, too, honestly.
Come on.
I don't even know what I would do, though.
Do we seem needy?
Please. You recently joined the board of GLAAD.
I did.
What are your goals?
So many things. So I've been a member of GLAAD for a long time because all it takes to be a member is to donate, and I'm a big believer in donating to the organizations you support. The ACLU, Planned Parenthood, GLAAD. These are just to name some of the people that I like to donate to monthly. So my goals as a member of the board, which I've never been on the board of anything, is to really just try and take the message that GLAAD is doing and make sure that it is being as accurately as possible portrayed to people in my generation. The mission of GLAAD is to accelerate acceptance through storytelling, and I feel like storytelling is the heart of what opens people's minds. It's when you read a novel about a life that's so different from your own, or you watch a film, or you watch a TV show, you really get a chance to have empathy for someone that you might not have otherwise had empathy for. You feel their experience because you have been through something similar, although different. So, I hope to do great things together. Great. And that's all I'm going to say for now.
So we have a series of questions that we ask called First, Best, Last, Worst.
Oh.
So the first job that made you think, I've made it.
I don't think that way. It's not gonna, that's just not the way it is. So, nah.
Best story you have from the set of I Heart Food.
Oh, man. Okay, best story I have from the set of I Heart Food. Oh, we were caught in a snowstorm once, and my luggage was on the plane, meaning the shirt that I was shooting with for continuity was on the plane. Oh, no. And though my luggage was the only bag that got left behind. So me and the girl who does my makeup, Carson, we went to a store and bought a shirt as similar as possible, and she literally cut it up to look like the shirt that I was wearing.
Ooh.
So see if you can spot it, guys.
I want to play that game.
It's a good game. Yeah, try and figure out which one it is.
That's awesome. Last time you were recognized in public.
And the elevator at our last location.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Even in LA where people are so
hesitant.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're hesitant. They're like, oh, well, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Well, maybe it is me. I don't know.
Worst cooking experience.
One time in college, I was trying to make a big batch of cookies. And I used salt instead of sugar. And I was devastated. Because it really
Did you eat them anyway? Did you try?
I don't remember what happened next. I think I blocked it out. I was devastated.
Oh, no.
I know. It was my first attempt at baking ever. And I messed up. It's okay. You got to forgive yourself. Move on.
That's good advice.
Thank you.
Hannah Hart, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I Heart Food is on Food Networks, 10, 9 Central on
Mondays.
Food Network show on Mondays.
Yes. Be sure to check out I Heart Food Mondays, 10, 9 Central. I hope you watch. I hope you enjoy. And let me know. You can find me on all forms of social media at Harto. Harto. Bye. Bye. Have a great day. Mwah.